What is up, everybody? My name is Andrew, and welcome back to Space Engineers Survival 2025. This is episode number 19, and we have Buzz fixing up the Falcon. After the Falcon came in a little bit damaged, Buzz is getting to work trying to repair some of this stuff. But we're gonna make it a little easier for Buzz, because this episode we're gonna be building a repair pit to help us out with this entire thing right here. I don't know where we're gonna put it quite yet. We really could put it anywhere. I mean, we have a lot of room under here that we could maybe use for something like that. We could maybe even do it on top of this if we wanted to. I'm not sure, but we are going to try and do that in this episode. And then the rest of this episode is going to be a base building episode where we're going to build this top section right here. We might try and work on welding up some blocks that are unwelded. Maybe we'll even get to planning out the elevator that we're going to eventually have in here. And all this stuff down here. We're gonna try and do a lot of this stuff. So that's what you have to look forward to this episode. Let's get right to it, starting with the welding pit. So if I were a welding pit, where would I want to go? That's the real question for today. Ooh, I can remove this. We don't need this anymore. This was for the big ship that we had over here earlier. Well, for now, at least, we might not need like a crazy robust welding pit. Well, we do just so happen to have a lot of room on this side over here. We could put a welding pit over here, but then the ships would have to kind of fly around this thing. So maybe I'd want to put it over here instead. Yeah, actually, I think I'm more leaning toward putting it right here. So we're gonna put a little welding pit right here. And we're gonna need to mine out some of this area for that, I think. Remember, we put it over here where we don't have to mine out as much area. So let's go and get a couple steel plate blocks so that we can build this out. Now, I built one of these in the last series, so it's fresh off my mind and I know how to build it. So it shouldn't be too difficult for us here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go at least one block down from this. So where's the middle block? Probably right here. We're gonna go at least one block down, and then we're gonna have our welders be over here. Probably, let's do it like this. Let's do it like from that block, and we'll do it over here. Okay, so our welders are gonna go like this. Do I have any interior plates? No, I need some. Oh, I forgot I got all this stuff last episode as well. The uranium ingots right here, the med kits, and the power kits. So we have that stuff to play with in the future. Okay, so I need one more hydrogen bottle, because I think I only got one there. So it's coming along pretty nicely. We've got 3 rows currently, so boom, 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 like that. And is there anything else that I want? I need to add one more of these on this side, I think. So there we go. And let's start by getting all of these welded up. So I'm gonna real quick remove these, just to make it a little easier to access those. And let's get all these welded up. Okay, so that's gotten us all the way from there to here. Okay, there's our conveyor junction, another conveyor junction up here. One of those guys, half of one of those guys, and we need the rest of that right there. And then we'll need one more block as well, so let's keep that in mind here. So we'll grab this stuff, and then let's go in here, make sure we grab enough for, I guess we'll grab enough for a couple T-junctions, because that'll basically give us what we need. So this goes there, this goes there. We'll put this nicely back there, and then let's put our straight block in here. And it might look a little bit crazy because we have T-junctions everywhere else, but it's gonna be fine. Okay, so let's, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll get those. We're able to get all of them? Almost all of them. Okay, that's looking good. It's looking like a big amalgamation of stuff, but it's fine. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get all that stuff welded. I'm out of motors. I got everything except for the motors, so I wonder, yeah, I think we're just out of motors on the grid. So let's go ahead and throw motors as the primary thing there, and let's go ahead and make another, I don't know, bunch of motors, because we're gonna need them. You know, it's probably getting to the point where we're gonna need to go on another iron expedition at some point. Because we haven't in a little while. It's been a while since we've taken out the armadillo as well as the kangaroo. But we might have to do that soon. Okay, so we have all these positioned. So let's go ahead and get the pistons as well positioned with them. So let's grab some steel plates first, and let's get those right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's a lot. That's a lot of pistons. But what they're gonna have essentially is a sensor and a welder on them, and then we're gonna copy that exact design over here also. Once we know, approximately where they're gonna go. Oh shoot! You know what? Speak of the devil, I'm out of steel. I'm out of iron rather. Dang. Okay. Do we actually have any iron sitting on the base? We might. There's a chance. Let's go into our ores. container. We do have quite a bit of iron, so let's go into our refineries and let's throw that into one of these right here, and then let's throw this into there as well. And then while we're at it, we're just doing cobalt right now. Let's do magnesium. Let's do probably some more magnesium, and let's take a look at our ingots as well. So ingots wise, we have plenty of cobalt right here. 35k is quite a bit of cobalt. We have not a lot of platinum, so we should probably do some of that. Where's our magnesium? We're out of magnesium as well, so that'll be nice that we're gonna get some magnesium there. Okay, there's our large steel tube, so we are back in production, but we only have 12,000 iron that we have left, so we're gonna definitely need to do something about that. All right, let's get these last two built up. And for now, I don't think we're gonna build the other side. I think we're just gonna keep this one side, and we'll eventually build the other side as we need it. But to be honest, we don't need the two sides quite yet. It makes things a little bit easier, but it's not strictly required. Okay, there we go. There's all the stuff that we need for these. And honestly, we don't need a welding pit this big. This is a quite a large welding pit. But let's go ahead and get some of our welders on here. So the welders are just gonna require a couple steel plates. This is gonna be a very dangerous area in just a second with all these welders. Okay, more welders, and there we go. There's all of our welders that we're gonna want on here. Let's weld them up. All right, with that welder built up there, we have our welding wall built up also. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a floor. I'm gonna go ahead and put a floor in after I remove this. There we go. So let's get a nice floor, something like this. Yeah, I think this will be fine. So a nice little bit of a floor. We can support quite a large ship in here, and I might move the floor lower if I need to. Actually, you know what? Why not? Let's move the floor a little bit lower. So we'll go one block lower and have the floor about right there. All right, this kind of tells us where we want to mine out once we build the other side. For now, though, having this one side is gonna be good. So what we're gonna want then is gonna be a bunch of sensors. So let's go for sensor, and we're gonna place them. I'll use these ones right here because they're a little easier to place the right way. All right, and we're gonna make sure they're all placed a similar way, and I think I'm right here. The reason I want them all placed the same way is because I only want to configure one of these, and then I want to copy over the settings to all the other ones using build vision. So we're gonna place them all the same way like this, so that once we have one configured, it'll be a little easier. Oh, we need interior plates. Okay, let's grab those. All right, there we go. They're all positioned about the same way, so let me build one of them. And the painful thing is gonna be that I need to name all of these pistons. So that I might have bit off more than I can chew there with adding so many. But we have 14 of them, so these will all be left pistons. There we go. Okay, all of the pistons and the welders are named. So if I go in here, you can see, oh Lord. Yeah, we have all these printer L1, L2, etc. So we have 2 of each. So L5 piston, L5 welder, L4 piston, L4 welder, etc. So all of that stuff is named. Fuel's low. Okay, so let's hop up here and grab some new fuel. There we go. New fuel acquired. Oh, it doesn't know that we have fuel yet. There we go. All right, and let's head back down here real quick. And so what I need to do now is set up the sensors. So if I remember correctly, how do these work? Okay, so what I need to do is go here, do something like show on HUD, and then go into info and show the sensor field range. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to find our directions. So let's set everything to 0 first of all. So 0. So let's give the right extent up to, I don't know, there. We'll do 2.1 for the left and right extent because I think that is probably fair. We have an ember thing flying around us. Yeah, so we've got that for those extents right there. Then we need to do, let's see what we need to do. The top extent I want to have just in front of this. So maybe that. Back extent we'll raise up just a little bit as well so that it covers the entire thing. I'm actually going to move my left and right extent in also because I don't think I think I only want to cover the amount of block that is here. So we'll do 1.3. We'll also go ahead and make sure that this detects, I don't care about an audible proximity alert. Don't detect players. I want you only to detect small ships, large ships, not stations. Subgrid's fine. And I think that is good. Yeah, so only detect that stuff. Okay, and when you do detect it, I want you to retract this. And when you don't detect it, I want you to extend this. Just like that. So let's go and grab a small ship from up here and see if it works. So it should, as soon as we get into the range, it should start working. So let's get into the range there, and let's back up. Oh no, it's not even that one. Okay, hang on. It's this one over here. So let's get into the range. Now let's get out of the range. No, it's not. Huh, that's weird. Let's turn on the proximity alert. I want to see if maybe it will work. Huh, no, it's not detecting this ship. That's weird. Let's turn on detect players. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, it's not detecting me. Why are you not working as intended? Look, I can reverse it, and then when it detects the ship, it'll promptly reverse, but then it doesn't continue. Oh no, now it does. Okay, chill. No need for the audible thing. Okay, I would like it to be able to get a little closer than that as well. So let's go here and remove the top extent just a tiny bit. Okay, so I don't know why it wasn't working earlier. That was really weird, but now it seems to be working. I'm gonna turn off detect players because I don't care about it detecting players, and we should be off to the races. So let's go ahead and, well, actually we don't have to build all these because Buzz has been building most of them. So let's go here. Let's copy all except name. And let's go and paste these all. So we just need to go into copy settings and paste. And you'll see, boom, those are showing up as the same thing. So copy settings, paste, and we'll just run through and add these to all these. Uh-oh, we ran out of iron. We finally ran out of iron again. Retract, extend. Okay, so that should be the entire bottom row done. So if I tell these all to extend, let me go to my pistons. So we'll do L1, L2, 3, 4, and 5. Tell them all to extend here. Give them all a velocity of 0.5. So now that they're all extending, well, now that they all should be extend. I guess they're not extending because they don't detect anything. Well, no, they should be extending until they detect something. Let me try this. Reverse. Okay, let's tell them all to reverse, just so we can test them real quick. All right, they're all reversing. Let's see what happens when the ship gets in their way. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Actually, I do want them to go a little faster, I think, because otherwise it's a little difficult. Oh, this poor one is banging against the floor. All right. I mean, I think you can see how this is going to go. If you didn't watch the last year's series, you can see how this should work. You know, it'll keep the pistons from hitting our ship, and they'll just kind of pretty much take on the form of whatever is in there. So if I go and turn on these welders here, they'll start actually welding it up. We'll turn that one on. If we have the blocks, that is, and we might not have the blocks for some of these, but it'll start welding it up, which is going to be a good help. So what I can do now as well, actually, let me go and immediately turn them off again real quick. And I'll eventually have a button here that will do this for me. But for now we have to do it manually. So what I can do as well is I can go and turn on our, let's get our projector working. Okay, so there's our Falcon projector right there, and it looks like we need to move it down one. And that might be it, or do I need to move it down a couple actually? So let's go into our Falcon projector right there and bring that vertical offset down to, oh no, up actually. Bring it up like that, and then we need to bring the forward offset like that, and then we need to do the horizontal offset like that. And I think that should be in position. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so with that, now I should be able to turn these guys on. Let's turn these guys on, and they should start building up the stuff that's missing on the Falcon. Like, they built up that weapon right there. Very good. And in fact, what I might do also is let's come down here real quick, and I wonder if I can remove this.
Inventory full. Inventory.
There we go. If I remove the cockpit, now they're not gonna be able to place it there because there's blocks in the way. Let me come down here and grab anything that's in the way right there. There we go. I'm wondering if they replace that cockpit, is it gonna have all my buttons on there? Yes, it is. Okay, that makes life a whole lot easier now that I have all this stuff on the bottom right there, so I don't have to reposition it all. Okay, so they've built that stuff up. Let's turn this around so we can get the other side also. And let's let them get some of this side as well, because this side definitely needs some stuff too. That welder has decided to stop working. I don't know why. Huh, that's weird. It seems like if we get them all to their starting point, they actually stop. They don't continue. That's really strange, but I think most of the ship is welded. Let's do the backside here a little bit too if it needs it. But I think we're good. Oh, wait, hang on, it was getting a little more. Yeah, I think we're good. I think the Falcon is back up to its former glory. which is very nice. It's very nice to see. So let's go ahead and bring the Falcon back up to its parking spot. We have Buzz working over there as we're doing this, which is good. Buzz is gonna keep working. Oh, actually, I do have a couple blocks on the bottom that I wasn't able to get finished. How come this one didn't show up as the... Let me remove this inset connector. I'm curious, if I add it from here, will it show up in the hotbar? Yeah, okay, so if I add it there, it shows up in the hotbar. So then this camera didn't show up in the hotbar, presumably because it was added later by Buzz. Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna have to add that camera back manually. It's okay. All right, let's go ahead and put this back here. I think most of our stuff, yeah, our cameras aren't showing up there. That's fine. Neither is one of our weapons, and neither is our AI blocks, but I think that's because Buzz went and welded them back up. So, yeah, there's not much we can do there. Let me make sure all of our thrusters are working here. Yeah, we have some that aren't working. So this one right here needs to be built up, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like I could have spent a little bit more time in the welder because we have some of these blocks that aren't welded up. So that is my fault, but I think now we have them mostly back up and running. Yeah, we have a couple blocks down here that aren't having it, but that's nothing a couple steel plates can't fix. All right, very nice. Okay, so the Falcon's back up and running and ready for a fight. Very good. So now what I think we need to do, the next step before we do anything is going to be grabbing some iron from the iron mine. And I think I'm just gonna do a normal trip of iron. I'm not gonna do anything crazy, just a standard. Oops, I need to turn this stuff on. I always forget that I don't have the stuff set up for this. I don't have like the auto keys. Okay, so let's go down into our little iron mine over here and let's start getting some of this stuff. I guess we wouldn't really bring the kangaroo on this one anyway, because the iron mine is really close to base, so it wouldn't really make sense to bring the kangaroo just a short distance away. All right, let's start getting a little bit of iron. We have some over here. Hopefully this iron doesn't dry up. If it does, though, I'm sure we can find some more. Iron is usually everywhere. All right, full load of iron. Let's get it. Okay, we're just about hitting the red on our iron, so I think that's probably where I'm gonna stop grabbing some because I don't want to max out the ship. So let's head back up to our base. Remember, we don't have quite enough thrust to max out our ship, just barely. We'll not have enough. So I know my limits. We're gonna grab this much iron. It should last us for a while. Oh, okay. Okay, we need to go like this and use our bottom thrusters to elevate us instead of using our back thrusters because they're not as powerful. So let's see how much iron we do have actually. I'm curious. 8,000 plus 49,000 plus 55,000 plus 81,000, 81,000, 9,000. We have quite a bit actually. We have a lot of emptiness right here, but that's ejectors and stuff like that. So we definitely could have held a little bit more iron, but the ship is struggling as it is. So like I said, know your limits. Let's head up here. And let's get the armadillo connected. Okay, I guess that's good to lock. And it should start grabbing that iron. So I want to make sure that iron is prioritized because we're low on iron and we need iron for everything. So refinery, let's go to ores. And let's start pulling that iron into these guys to be prioritized. So please prioritize this stuff. We only have 3 refineries. I think we might want another one. Let's get another refinery while we're at it. We'll come all the way down here. So we had planned to, at some point, extend this so that we had the normal refineries right here that refine everything. And then we have more specific refineries down there. So I think we're going to do that. Let's see if we can get these superconductors, though, real quick while we're here. Yep, we are able to get those. I want to put those in there. And let's see if we have all the superconductors done as well so that we're maxing out these guys. I think we do. Yeah, I think we're good on superconductors. Very nice. Okay, so let's start working on what's going to go below this. Before we do that, let me grab a bunch of steel plates and fly down here to weld up this stuff real quick. So let's weld up our floor and we'll work from there. I'd like to have a clean slate when we start here. All right, there we go. Very nice. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is start getting more specific refineries, and I would love to put one directly under this guy if I can, just so that we have that consistency, but I don't know if that would make much sense. That's what we're bringing. I believe we're bringing ingots there, so I'm gonna want to leave 1 block separation. What do I have if I go in here just a little bit? Do I have any point where I have a connection? All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove this sorter. And I'm gonna remove, oh, that had stuff in it. Okay, I had a little bit of iron, that's fine. I'm gonna remove that sorter, and I'm gonna remove this guy as well. We're gonna get an inventory full, that's fine. I'm gonna put a 3-way connector right here. And we'll build that up to the best of our ability. And let's get a sorter right here. So conveyor sorter pointing down. And let's get both of these welded up if we can. So actually, we just need this one. So what our thought is here is that we're gonna have the sorting happen down here. So this is the sorter that goes from the refinery to the assembler. So I'm gonna go sorter, refinery to ingots. Something like that, because it's going to the ingots container basically. And then what we're gonna do is along the top right here is where we're gonna have our, I guess, our connections from the other refineries. So I'm gonna want 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna keep those refineries at this level right here. Okay, so there's our flooring for our refineries. I'll go ahead and build up one of them because this is where I'm gonna do my first refinery. So any things that we want specific refining for, we're gonna put down here. So let's go ahead and start with our first refinery. So grab our refinery. Ooh, Prototech refinery, very nice. One day, you best believe it. Okay, we're gonna throw that right there. This is gonna be our first one. And let's build it up, if we can. I think we should be able to. We probably have all the stuff. Okay, I was wrong. We do not have all the steel plates. Well, let's go ahead and build a couple more. As you know, we're gonna need them. Actually, you know what? Let's redo this. I was thinking I want like these specific refineries, but it probably makes more sense not to have specific refineries, because if we have refineries specifically doing only one thing, then if we run out of that thing, that refinery becomes useless. So it might make more sense just to not do that and instead just build more refineries, so that we can process everything, and then we can just control what they're refining whenever we want to. So I'm actually gonna do that instead. And instead of having it at this level, we're gonna bring them one up because we don't need sorters anymore. All right, there we go. There's our refinery positions. I think that's gonna work a little bit better. Actually, before we do that, let me remove these real quick, because I know that we're gonna want this to be a T-junction like this, because that's gonna connect to our refinery. So I need to make sure that we have these set up. Oh no, our fuel's low. Okay, let's head back down here where we have one of these, and let's exchange some of our fuel. There we go. We got plenty of fuel again. Okay, so this is gonna turn into a T-junction, or a curved one. We might eventually turn that into a T-junction, I don't know. Okay, there we go. There's all of our conveyors. That's the groundwork that we need for this. So let's extend with a couple of those. 1, 2, 3. And with those, we should have 3 additional refineries to work with, which will be very nice. Okay, let's start on this one. So we'll right click that, and that. This is gonna take ages to get, but we have ages, so let's get to work. All right, there's one of our refineries built up. Perfect. Let's keep going to get these other 2. Oh, whoops, this is not, no, that's fine. Why is, oh shoot. Okay, I did this the wrong way, hang on. Okay, I placed all these the wrong way, so I actually need to go in and replace some of them. So here we go. I'm doing a little bit of an operation here, but we should have this done pretty soon. Here we go. How are you looking? There's our second refinery, and let's get our third refinery up and running here, so that we have these 3. Now we're gonna have to give these guys some of the yield modules also, otherwise they won't be doing a crazy amount of refining. For now, at least. Let me see, we have an extra block right there, so we could always come behind these right here. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of yield modules to build. Well, I guess best to get to it. So let's start with the yield modules on the top, and we'll go 1, 1, 1 all the way down until we have them all built up. So the yield modules are going to require 20, 40, 60, 80 times 3, which will be 240 gold superconductors rather. So let's go into here, into production, and let's do 240 superconductors. So there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's going to be all of our superconductors, and we're going to let those go ahead and build up. While that's happening, we'll build up our final industrial assembler here. We're still missing some steel plates. I guess at some point we should add speed modules to these guys too, shouldn't we? Power efficiency, speed. Here, let's add a speed module to all of our assemblers here. I don't know what this is going to do to our power. It's probably going to cause a lot more usage, but it should speed up our steel plate production at least, which is a good thing. There we go. Yep, they're still working on the steel plates and stuff. There's another one. How's our power looking? Oh, we're actually at max again. Yeah, we're at max power again. Nice. Which is nice because a couple episodes ago we were at red power, so it looks like I guess the addition of these extra ones over there have actually done something. It's good. And I guess we're probably not recharging the kangaroo anymore. That's probably what was eating a lot of power. All right, here comes another speed module, and then another. We just have another 2, and then the remaining bit of industrial refinery right here. Let's make sure we always have some iron being processed. Should be another speed module right there. And then just a little bit more for that last speed module. 38 steel plates. All right, let's do a pace of the bridge. And by the time we come back, those 38 steel plates should be done. I guess while we're here, we'll grab some power too. And make sure our hydrogen is refilled. There we go. All right, let's head on back. Actually, we have some extra tools that we don't need. Why do we have those tools? Oh, we grabbed all this stuff from the Falcon. This was all in the Falcon's cargo. Okay, let's head on back. I'm actually not going to do a pace because I know that the steel plates are going to be done. All right, there we go. Let's get those in that last speed module, and then let's get the final refineries set up. So right-click on that, grab all those stuff. There we go. And let's place it into there. There's the industrial refinery. Very nice. So we have now 3 new industrial refineries. And what I want to do is make sure that we get these done as well. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can get those yield modules built up. I think they were building superconductors, so we should have a couple of them. Might be the steel plates that we hold on. Actually, we have most of the superconductors. It is actually only the steel plates that we need. Cannot withdraw 63 steel plates. So yeah, we have all the superconductors even. So there we go. There's 1 yield, another yield, and a third. Well, once we get some steel plates, there'll be a 3rd yield. There we go. There's our steel plates. Well, let's get this one built up. Perfect. So there's another 3 yields, and I'm here, so why not? There's another 3 yields. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna place yields all on this thing, and we'll build them up as we can. So here is another one. Man, we have a lot of superconductors. I guess we were able to build up most of those superconductors because the steel plate seems to be the big thing that we're missing. I got the power, the power, the power. All right, this is where we'll get to see if we actually did get all of the superconductors. 20, 20, and last one. Did we get all the superconductors? Let's see. Moment of truth. Probably not. I think we still have a couple of them being built. So there we go. No, we did. We got all of the superconductors. The only thing we're missing is steel plates at this point. So let's just sit here and grab a bunch of steel plates, I guess. It's trying. It really is. I mean, the assembler lead's not doing much, so let's give it a couple steel plates to work on. But everything else is actually trying. Let me make sure that our ores and then refinery. I would like you guys to be working on iron if you can. I should probably actually set this up as well, shouldn't I? Let's whitelist ingots. This guy, there we go. And I think you had a drain all, right? You should have. Okay, so now with that, maybe we have some more steel plates built up. We do indeed. Okay, how many of these can we build up? There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Not quite the 5th and the 6th, but we should be able to on this next trip here as we get more steel plates. And all withdrawn. Very nice. There's another one and another one. All right, that's an entire 3 new refineries fully set up with their yield modules and stuff. Let's grab a couple steel plates also. I'm gonna spam these. And what I want to do here is build up this floor, just so that we have a nice little floor to walk on. There we go. That's very nice. All right. I'm gonna get some stairs in here as well. Since this floor is a lot higher than the previous ones, the stairs are a little different, but I think it's fine because we're getting close to the bottom anyway. So the stairs change up over here. They go down like this, and then we only have 1 further level to go. So there we go. Something like that. And with that, the entire base has stairs all throughout the thing. All right, I want to rework how we do those stairs there because I'm not happy with them coming straight down right here. I think that blocks the entrance that you'd have from the elevator right here. But I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, I think that's where we're gonna end this episode here. We have 3 new refineries, which is good. 3 new refineries full with yield modules in the back is a very good thing. And we also have most of a welder setup. We still need to work a little bit on it, but it's pretty much there. We need to essentially take this. We need to complete a couple of these. I don't know why these guys are fully extended. Ow. And we need to duplicate that on the other side. And once we do that, we should be able to bring pretty much any size ship in here, as long as it's double this size. So I don't know, that size ship. But it's going to be good for fixing up things like the Falcon or the Welder Beast if it gets injured or anything like that. So that's going to be really nice. But yeah, I think this was a pretty productive episode. We got a lot done with getting the ship, the base built up. And it's looking pretty good. Next episode, we might try and attack one of these little bases over here, because I know they've been taunting me for a little bit. We have a military installation, lookout tower. Each of these might have, I don't know, gravity generators, which we could then sell to the trade tower. Actually, the military installation is over in that direction. So that might not be a bad idea. But I know those things have a few assault cannons, so we need to be careful. But anyway, that's the end of this one, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you'd like to subscribe, you can get notifications for when videos are up. And if you'd like to join the YouTube as a member or a patron, there are links below in the description where you can get access to videos a little bit early. You can get your name in the end credits, stuff like that. And for some of the tiers, you might even get a shout out at the end of the video. So 3 random people of those tiers are Harlequin Johnson, Tyler Hedstrom, and WTC 2014. Thank you very much for your support, and thank you everyone for your support as you watch these videos. It does mean a lot. But anyway, I will see you all in the next episode of Space Engineers Survival.